Hearts and Hardos. We got a special one for y'all today. As you can see, we got CFB Mike on the pod. Brady's back again. 2 episodes in a row for Brady. So that means you already know what we're about to talk about today. Spinny, I'll let you shout out your mans here. What episode are we on here?
Oh, you mean the Junior Seau episode? The best line.
Thank you. Okay. I thought you were going to say Lance Briggs or something.
I do like my boy Lance Briggs, though. Underrated, actually, I feel like, because he played with Brian Urlacher. I feel like Lance Briggs is underrated for that reason. Man was a dog.
Terrell Suggs.
True. Terrell Suggs.
He was number 55 as well. I mean, we jump in sports. White chocolate. Jason Williams. Oof. But we got to keep it NFL, though. That's for sure.
I mean, the best number 55 with the best handles is for sure white chocolate. But
white chocolate. Yeah. And Mutombo, not in my house.
That was your Mutombo impression?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was terrible. I'm sorry. That was so bad. That was ridiculous. Cue the music. We're done.
That impression was about as good as your jersey. And cue music.
Julio. All right, y'all. What we're going to do for the mock draft, we're going to actually draft it. We're going to act like we're the GMs here. We're going to take turns rotating picks. And believe it or not, CFB Mike is the lucky one to get the first pick. As the Panthers GM, Mike, you're on the board. Who are you taking?
Ooh. I got to start off by saying I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I think CJ Stroud is the best quarterback in this class and will have the best career. I think the Panthers are messing up by taking Bryce Young. It's close, but I am still going to take Bryce Young to be authentic with this pick, but I do want to put that on the record that I think CJ Stroud is the best career. So with the first overall pick, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
Okay, I love hearing that. So you are buying these reports that Young's going 1. You don't think it's a smokescreen?
Yeah, I do. I do think it is. Okay. I do think it's a smokescreen because Houston. No one really knows what Houston wants to do it too. But there's one thing that they put out there that Bryce Young is the only quarterback they really like. So that's where I kind of it's really hard to say it's a smokescreen at this level where you have ESPN, all these major outlets that have been pushing this now, but it just came up out of nowhere to me like 2 weeks ago. This Bryce Young.
I kind of thought that too, honestly.
When the Bears traded with them, it was like they were very upfront and obvious. They're like, Stroud's our guy. This is the guy. He killed it at his pro day, and now all these reports are coming out. He didn't test very well. Okay, well, he didn't do anything crazy like to kill his stock. Like he's not involved in any crimes, any off the field issues or anything like that. So I don't know kind of what knocked him down. But yeah, I think it's close.
S2. What do we think of this S2 cognition test? What do we think of this thing that's just coming up this year? I feel like
it's the new Wonderlic test.
What?
I was just saying it's the new Wonderlic test. Essentially, it's a cognitive test to see how these players to react to certain situations and essentially what their reaction times are. So they're trying to grade them essentially on that. And Bryce Young actually exceedingly
well. It's like processing information, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, right? It's kind of interesting. Like Bryce Young scores in the 98th percentile, like Brady said, and CJ Stroud is awful.
18% on this.
Yeah.
S2.
And it's said that Panthers owner David Tepper, he's big on this test, right? So I think that's might have been the Achilles heel for Stroud, which is it's interesting because obviously processing information is like important thing number one for quarterbacks. So
right.
is definitely like something, if you can test that, would be important. But like, is this test accurate? Like, is it? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see going forward.
Just a little tidbit, and sorry to interrupt, man. But Garrett Wilson actually last year scored exceedingly high on that test. So if there's an example, there's one anyways.
And Brock Purdy scored in the 90th
Yes.
percentile in that
Yep.
test as well. So kind of interesting. Anyway, sorry to hijack that, but you got anything else?
Well, pretty much. And I also saw there was like a number of other quarterbacks in like the top 6 or 7 on this test or whatever that I've never even heard of in my life that are apparently in this draft. So how much does it really mean? Like, if this random dude I've never heard of, who's probably going in the 6th round, like, could he pull Brock Purdy? Maybe, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's one
Let's
box.
move on to pick 2, though. Texans, Brady, you're on the clock.
So, as the Texans with the number 2 overall pick, I believe that they will thoroughly select Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama. Last episode I was on here, even I said it, CJ Stroud, I don't think the Texans will select him for various reasons. You could say it's Deshaun Watson's agent, whatever the case may be. But I think, especially they've even come out with reports and said they absolutely love Will Anderson Jr. So they love selecting players from Alabama.
Top 2 picks. Let's go.
Well, last year they selected John Mechie in the 2nd, which was considered a reach at the time, but he is a good receiver. But regardless, Will Anderson, he's about 6'3.5". He runs a 4.6 40, which in translation, Cooper Kupp runs a 4.6 40. Just to give you an idea on actually how fast that is, it's pretty fast. And he's a freak athlete. He had 10 sacks this last year. His 2021 stats are just video game numbers, honestly, but he even played exceedingly well this last year. And I don't see the Texans passing on a marquee player like that. I could see a world where they select Tyree Wilson. But I just think that they go Will Anderson, just considering he's probably the safest defender on the board. And if you're going to rebuild a franchise, do it within the trenches. So
you don't think there's a chance for a QB here?
Oh, there is. There's always a shot. We don't really know. That's the crazy thing about the Texans. Everybody, the draft, starts at number 1, but in my opinion, it starts at pick 2 because there's where the real guessing game starts. No one really knows what the hell Texans are doing. There's been reports they love Will Levis, the betting markets. Even yesterday, they changed. Within an hour, they went from like plus 4,000 to like plus 400 within an hour, all because of a Reddit post. And it's just wild to see the direction that Will Levis is heading. But he's so intriguing. Me personally, I'm not the highest on him. The guy has an absolute cannon, but I see them going with the safest bet, especially with the hiring of DeMeco Ryans from the 49ers. I think they go
defensive mind, yeah.
Yep, defensive-minded head coach. I think they'd go defense.
Okay. All right. I'm with you there. It's tough for me because that's who I was going to pick here. I picked 3 for the Cardinals. Ultimately, I think the Cardinals will trade back from this pick. That's been the hardcore rumors this last week or 2. They've reportedly received 6 different offers. 6 different teams have called them about this pick. So I definitely expect them to move back. They're a team that needs literally everything. So they might as well trade back and get more assets and try to help them out in that way. But we're not messing with trades, by the way, Hardies and Hardos. We're just straight up picking it. So I'm picking who I think is the best player here. I get there's questions about his character, but Jalen Carter. I'm picking Jalen Carter right here. I like the upside of Tyree Wilson, but I still view Jalen Carter as a safer pick. And like I said, there may be some character issues there, but I'm going highest upside here, Jalen Carter.
I don't know. Jalen Carter's a wild card. I feel like this man could drop like to Atlanta or Las Vegas, but I don't know. It'll be crazy. I agree. Talent-wise, it's got to be there. So
I don't see him.
Go ahead, Brady.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't see him dropping past the Eagles personally. Just because,
yeah.
I mean, there's even a shot the Eagles trade
That'd
up.
be a classic. That'd be a classic.
I'd be so mad.
Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, considering they already have N'Kobe Dean, they have Jordan Davis from that Georgia defense. Why not reunite them with some more continuity from college and Jalen Carter? That would be unfair though.
Eagles, sweet.
We don't like that. All right, people. We're going wild with pick 4.
Wild.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I like a lot of what I've been reading about the Colts' opinion on these quarterbacks. And given where we are right now with 3 of them left, I really still think this guy is their favorite guy. So I'm going to go with Will Levis here at pick 4.
So is that just strictly you thinking who their favorite guy is? Or that's who okay. So he's not your QB2 in this draft.
If I was the GM, we're taking Richardson with this pick. I think the upside's the highest. I like him. I like him overall. Obviously, there's passing issues. It's like the Justin Fields question, but you're getting an absolute unbelievable freak athlete. So, but I hear too much coming from Indy positive on the Will Levis train. Now, maybe it's fake and they're trying to get hype for him so they can get their guy, but I don't know. It'll be interesting.
One of 2 picks here for the Seahawks.
I get a huh?
Yeah, that's all you get is a
Jeez. All right, let's get it.
Man, this is making it really, really hard for me to not take a quarterback here.
They could. They really could.
They could. And I know they've been linked with Anthony Richardson. CJ Stroud still being on the board at 5 here. It begs the first question I think you got to ask from Seattle's standpoint is, was that just a fluke year from Geno? Is Geno really back? He's not the long-term solution, right? There's no way.
No.
But I don't know. Seattle has a lot of needs, I think. So I'm not going to take a quarterback here. I'm going to go with Devin Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think Seattle, I think they just looking at the build of their team currently, I am going to go fix that secondary. The defense, not as good as we're used to seeing. And I know that a lot of teams have been burned taking corners this early. It's not something I would even recommend in a lot of cases. But here, I think it's the position that makes the most sense. So, yeah, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, Illinois.
I really like him. I think he's going to be a stud.
Man, I like Christian Gonzalez more than him. He's the one I would take at this pick, I think. I like the long length ability, and obviously the pure statistical production wasn't there for Gonzalez compared to Witherspoon, like college career wise. But I don't know, length, athletic ability. I don't know. I hate to use this guy because it's so easy and so obvious, but he does have the Sauce Gardner build, right? Like, is he that fast? Maybe not necessarily, but I just like long, lanky corner vibes.
I feel it. Brady, what do you think?
Me personally, I mean, there is a world where Seattle selects Devin Witherspoon here. I mean, I agree. I agree with you. He's my favorite cornerback in this draft. And that's no knock on Christian Gonzalez because that dude is a freak athlete. I see a world where they select Anthony Richardson if he's there and available, just based on the fact that I personally think that Geno Smith is set up to be a bridge quarterback, and that if they think essentially, Anthony Richardson is a ball of clay right now, and they could mold him into anything they want to. And especially with that freak athleticism, and I mean, he destroyed the combine this year. He's like 99th percentile athlete. I mean,
freak.
Imagine if they can mold Geno Smith into comeback player of the year. Now, what they can do with Anthony Richardson long term, especially on a rookie contract when they can rebuild the franchise up. Now, that's just my take. That's not saying that they won't take Devin Witherspoon here. Just
right,
because he is my favorite cornerback in this class, and I mean, in theory, why not rebuild the Legion of Boom? With Tariq Woolen the 5th round selection that they just.
He had an amazing rookie year.
I believe he was 5th round.
Yeah, he was late. He was top 3, I want to say, in interceptions. He's the ball hawk out there.
Right.
Go to pick 6, though, the Lions. This is another potential maybe draft a QB and set him behind our starter, Jared Goff here. Brady, what do you got?
Yep. And honestly, I'm going to stop the fall with Anthony Richardson right here with Detroit. I was going to select Devin Witherspoon. Literally, I would have just done it flip-flop with Seattle and Detroit, but I mean, it's essentially what I just alluded to earlier with Seattle selecting him. Detroit, I mean, Jared Goff he's fantastic. My personal opinion, he's a good quarterback. I almost said fantastic. He's not fantastic. He's good. He's not great, and he's not long-term. They're essentially going to have to pay him. Well, why not pay someone on a rookie deal? And I mean, you have 2 selections here. 2 first-round picks. You can choose to either go to defense.
Pick 18 as well.
Yeah. Well, there we go. But regardless, I mean, it took everything. Oh, shoot. It took everything for me to not select Tyree Wilson here. Just because
he's still on the
just
board.
because, yeah, it literally Tyree Wilson has been linked to the Lions this entire draft process, and apparently they just love him too. So I thought heavily about it, but with Richardson on the board, and I mean, he's potentially franchise altering. So I think if you're going to swing upside, you do it with a guy like Anthony Richardson.
Okay, I like it.
So this is an interesting point, and this is what I think is actually going to happen. This makes CJ Stroud the faller, right? I think this could be a real thing that happens in the draft, that Stroud's the one that falls unexpectedly.
I agree to a point, but right here, pick 7, the Raiders. Jarrett Stidham is not even remotely close to the answer.
You think the Raiders are
Jimmy
taking
G.
one?
Jimmy G, dude.
Jimmy G is not the answer. They are taking CJ Stroud with this pick.
Damn.
Raiders, one of the 6 teams linked to the Cardinals as a potential move up from 7 to 3. They move up from 7 to 3, they're definitely taking a quarterback. So just because of that fact, I'm going CJ Stroud right here. I don't necessarily like the fit, but I just have to do it.
For pick 8, I told you this going in. Mike said it in the pre-draft room. Like, this is the worst pick to have. Like, this is the pick I want to talk about the least.
Hey,
I agree, and I countered with taking the best player available, and I already hyped this guy up for a minute and a half earlier.
It should be an obvious answer, right?
Yeah, I think the best player available right now is Christian Gonzalez, the corner from Oregon.
Really?
Who I think is going here at pick 8.
I still think it's a little reach. I think him going top 10 is a little bit of a reach, in my opinion, still. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I do think Tyree Wilson is a better player, and maybe who I would have taken with this pick.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe pass rusher was the way to go for
But like you said, they need everything. So who knows? Oh gosh, Mike.
Right. I probably messed that up. Yeah.
This is tough. This is a lot harder now.
You already made your pick, and now Mike has to pick for a division rival here.
All right, so Chicago needs 2 things, and one of those things has been taken twice already in this draft. So they're not going the cornerback route.
Yep.
They're going offensive line. They're going to protect Fields. I think they got the weapons around him. They don't really need the offensive firepower. Maybe running back.
Definitely need linemen. That's for sure.
They need to protect Fields, and this is a very neck and neck debate. I think for the first offensive lineman off the board, I'm going to go with the hometown kid. I'm going to go with Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. He's staying close to home, and I don't know. I like him. He has that Big Ten build to him. He played his worst game of the year, the only game that I actually watched 4 quarters of. When they played the Gophers, he had his worst game of the year. So, of course, I didn't get to see much. But he definitely had a pretty good season, just a solid Big Ten lineman. The only reason I didn't take Paris Johnson here is because until this year, there were a bunch of knocks on him. Where he fit on the offensive line, falling down the depth chart a little bit early on in his career, not getting snaps, but I think you can't really go wrong either way.
No, I agree. It's pretty much a toss up there, and yeah, it's just on preference at that point. But now we are at pick 10. This one could be interesting. This is a team that made the Super Bowl, and they're blessed with pick 10.
Yep,
What do you got, Brady?
I'm gonna stop the fall with Tyree Wilson.
There's no way he falls any farther than that.
Yeah, sure. I don't see him falling further than that. He's way too good. Honestly, in my opinion, Tyree Wilson could be selected in the top 3. Personally, he's a fan. He is such a mauler. He's such a beast. But I mean, hypothetically, if we're the GMs, I'm picking him right here, no brainer. He's an absolute freak athlete. He's about 6'6", 6'7", and 275. I mean, comes off the ball like a hiccup. I mean, he's, like I alluded to last week, offensive tackles in the league are going to be having a problem with this guy.
That's for damn sure. Speaking of tackles, I feel like this now makes my pick 11 for the Titans a little easier. They have 0 linemen whatsoever across the board. I'm taking Paris Johnson here. I was hoping Skronsky would be the guy that I'd get, but I'll just have to go Paris Johnson at pick 11.
Paris Johnson, we like it.
Losing the wand, dude, that hurts. I mean, he wasn't on the field anyways, I guess, the last couple of years, but big shoes to fill nonetheless.
Texans' second pick in the top 12.
Yeah. First of all, on the Tennessee pick, do you think there's a good shot they trade up to get a quarterback?
Yes, I didn't even mention that. That's a great point.
That's not good.
They're definitely a team linked to trading up for a quarterback, definitely. So I can 100% see that happening. Like you said earlier, though, CJ Stroud or one of those guys falling, I could see a situation where there's one of these 4 quarterbacks available at pick 12. They wouldn't even necessarily, or pick 11, they wouldn't even necessarily need to trade up. I could see that happening as well.
Yeah. I think this pick is hard for me now, honestly, for Houston. I really thought like one of those last 2 guys was going to fall to me. I don't love Luka Van Ness or Nolan Smith, honestly. They're not huge for me, and that's where I think Houston could go here. But if they're not going that way, I think it's got to be a receiver. So I'm gonna say Smith in the Jigsaw here. I think he's the best receiver in this draft, and I think they are playing the tank this year still game and get a quarterback next year where they will hopefully have a high pick. Plus, they have another first that they could use to trade up if they need to. So I think Houston is going receiver here.
Good pick. One thing I'll say about him is that he didn't play hardly at all this year. So he's pretty much taken the whole year off, not playing football. Maybe something to be said there, but the last performance that really sticks out in everyone's mind is how he played out of his mind in that Rose Bowl against Utah. Yeah. So I think there's still a lot of that there, and obviously just a freak athlete too. So can't really go wrong there. I think he's the clear number 1 wide receiver on the board.
And now pick 13, another division rival here. Oof. What do you got, Mike?
If you were going to let Jackson go, one more pick, I think how petty would it be? How petty would it be for the Packers to not draft a first-round wide receiver all those years, and then the first
that would be awesome.
That would be so funny.
So not quite. Again, I think they're another landing spot for those corners, but the corners went so early. There's not really a lot of value there for someone to play across from Jair. So I'm going to go first tight end off the board here. And I don't think my tight end evaluation rivals. A lot of people know I'm a Notre Dame guy. I think Michael Mayer is the number 1 tight end in this class, but I'm going to put my bias aside here, and I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid as the first tight end off the board. Coming up, I believe he got injured at Utah last year, missed half the season. But leading up to that, I mean, he was the best player, one of the best players in the Pac-12 last year. So I think that it's a really good fit for Green Bay. Tight end specifically, looking at instead of starting a run on wide receivers just because young quarterback, Jordan Love, steady, sturdy tight end can help out a young quarterback. So I really like that pick here.
Yeah, I agree. I I mean, they've been linked to tight ends for 2-3 months now. So I definitely think they're going to go skill position here. And it would be hilarious if they pick a receiver. That's all I got to say.
That's what I'm hoping for tomorrow night.
Oh, Brady.
Yes,
The
sir.
Patriots, pick 14.
I already know. Well, in my opinion, they would have picked Jackson Smith and Jigba as well. You know, as they're on the lookout for a true alpha one. And as far as this draft class goes, he's the closest thing to it. But I would, if I were Patriots, I'd go with Brian Branch here, the safety corner out of Alabama, with the Patriots here at 14. I think he's a fantastic player. He's he's so universal. I mean, the guy can play several positions in the defensive backfield. He can play safety, slot, nickel corner, outside linebacker, hybrid. I mean, he's about 6 foot, 195 pounds. He's probably my favorite player in this draft class as far as pure talent goes. The guy is just, I mean, from tight ends to slot receivers, he's just such a good lockdown defensive cornerback. And with the Patriots losing J.C. Jackson a year ago in free agency, you know, they can obviously find cornerbacks in the, you know, day 2, day 3 picks and mold them. But I think with Brian Branch still being on the board, he's, in my opinion, he's the best player on the board at the time. But that's not to say that Nolan Smith. See, me personally, I love Nolan Smith. The guy has freak athletic speed. And for a guy that size, he could definitely go here. But I just think the need is stronger here for the Patriots.
I love Brian Branch.
Yeah.
Bias included. Alabama bias included in that statement.
Safety,
that I selected.
safety at pick 14.
Safety corner.
He plays more than
plays
safety.
everything, dog.
He's a nickel corner, a slot corner. He's a defense. The guy is so universal.
Don't even listen to me. He's literally just being a rack. He's from Alabama. If this dude is from any other school, Spinny would have this guy first overall.
Come on, I just think
I'm kidding.
I think the Patriots would see too many good edge rushers still available to take a safety corner here.
Right, and that's why I'd say I could definitely see Nolan Smith selected here, but sure. I don't know. Brian Branch, and I mean, obviously, even the Patriots are fairly notorious for drafting Alabama players. Houston is kind of notorious for following Patriots, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I just personally think he's the best player on the board, regardless of position.
Yeah, Spinny. Take that.
Fine, then. I'll take it.
The Jets at 15. We all know Mekhi Becton is not turning out. They're going tackle here. They are praying Skronsky or Paris Johnson falls to them. It's not probably going to happen. That leaves, in my opinion, best remaining tackle on the board. Not really liking this pick, I'm not going to lie, but the need is 100% there. By far the biggest need is tackle. I'm going Broderick Jones, the other tackle out of Ohio State.
He's massive.
He is a big dude. No comment from either of you two. I'm not liking that.
I'm pissed. I had him. I was hoping he would fall a little bit.
Okay.
To be honest, is Mekhi Becton that bad? Didn't he just get hurt last year? I thought he was playing well before he
That's
got
more
hurt.
more what I meant. Was
okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, still need 2 tackles. Everybody has 2. Most teams have 2 good edge rushers, so you gotta help old man Rodgers out now.
Absolutely.
Agreed. This makes it really interesting here for me at 16. I didn't know if this player would be left. He was kind of linked here to Washington early, and then most people think he'll be gone before this. So I'm gonna take Michael Mayer here for the Commanders. I think they're trying to get a little offensive production actually out of the tight end position. Nice little weapon there for when they draft a quarterback next year. I don't really know what the Commanders' plan is.
I don't think they know what their plan
Sam
is.
Howell. Ride it out. See what happens.
I guess that's the guy. So we're getting Sam Howell a weapon. I don't know. Commanders are crazy, but I think maybe if I was them, I'd take this guy here, get a weapon in the mid-first round that would be surprising to me if he's available.
So what other positions do you think they could take? You think offense for sure, so receiver or tight end?
No, I think corner is obviously somewhere they could go for sure as well. Like Joey Porter Jr. could go here, even Emmanuel Forbes could go here. There's a lot of guys that, because the front seven of their defense has been great for a while, and I think is going to continue to be, even though they didn't pick up Chase Young's 5th-year option today, which
that was weird.
Really figure out exactly, because like I feel like your concern with him is injury, so you'd want to pick up his 5th-year option so you have another year to figure that out. Or unless they're going to pay him early to try to get it cheaper, I don't exactly know what's going on there, but there's something weird with that. But the front seven of their defense is really good. I think corner is a position of need for them. I just like the talent-wise availability of Michael Mayer here.
Yeah, I like it. Y'all, forgot to say it first. You'll see 2 graphics on your screen right now with our 16 picks we've made so far. It's been kind of wild. Tyree Wilson all the way to 10. I don't know about that. But, hey, that's just how our draft's been flowing. So we're going to keep running with this. Mike, you are back on the clock with the Steelers at 17.
Surprised the Texas running back is still available right now. Just got to say that quick. So if anyone wants to steal him before that pick, they shouldn't do it.
I'm glad you didn't go corner with the Washington Commanders. I think Pittsburgh needs offensive line. They do. I think offensive line is now picked over a little bit in this spot. I'm not quite ready to reach for Darnell Wright if I'm the Steelers GM right here. So I'm going to keep it in the family here, and I'm going to go Joseph Porter Jr., son of Joey Porter. Is Joey Porter still their linebackers coach too?
I don't know that.
I know he was.
That would be crazy.
He was at one point. But yeah, Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State. I think he's super athletic. If you ever watched the Penn State game this year, it's just he's all over the field. Any team that tries to air it out, he's always sniffing out the ball. So I think that's what Pittsburgh needs right now. They got to protect Kenny, but since Broderick Jones is gone, I don't think – and maybe you trade back and try to get into the Osiris Torrance or Darnell Wright spot. I think it's a little weird spot to kind of reach. So
yeah, I had this in my way too early mock, Joey Porter going here. I'm just a huge fan of it. I think it'd be a cool story. And I think, like you said, if tackles are picked over at this point, it honestly could very well happen.
It is. It's your pick now, Brady. Are you going to pick who I think?
Yeah. The easiest one would have been for me. I mean, obviously it's Nolan Smith, edge rusher from Georgia. I mean, because I personally think if they go Anthony Richards and with their first number 6 overall pick, the Lions, they'll choose to take a defender with their second one.
That makes sense.
I think they'll go either offense, defense, or defense, defense. That's personally what I think they'll do. I mean, I personally think they'd go Kalijah Cansey here, the D tackle out of Pittsburgh. But I think they'll go with Nolan Smith if he's on the board. I mean, why not opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? Because you have a guy that runs a 4.39 and he's 250 pounds, played on an elite Georgia defense.
He's a little short. His only knock. Like
John Randall was short.
Right.
That short knock doesn't bother me one notch. That he's a freak athlete and he's incredibly fast and he played on an elite defense. I think he's the best player on the board. Once again, to me, it's just super easy because it's the lowest hanging fruit. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Nolan Smith here. I think he's a lock here if he's on the board.
Don't steal my guy, Bus.
I'm upset because I was going Nolan Smith right here at pick 19 for the Bucks. Man, I'm kind of in the same boat as Mike now. The Bucks need line, but I don't know if I'm ready to pull the trigger on a Darnell Wright or even an Anton Harrison. But man, I'm trying to figure out who your guy is for the Seahawks here, so I can take him. Let's go a little different route. We're gonna go. Oh, this guy's still on the board, huh? Yep, we're going Miles Murphy then. edge rusher out of Clemson.
Not my guy.
They need an edge. He's probably the best available at this point in the draft.
Wrong
So.
answer. What?
Why are you picking Luca or what?
Yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas Van Ness.
Lucas. Sorry.
It's not Luca Garza.
Lucas Van Ness, Seahawks player. They went Richardson here in our draft early, so you know they're going defense. Absolutely 0.0% chance that Pete Carroll takes 2 offensive players in the first round of the NFL draft. I just don't see it. So yeah, Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, Devin Witherspoon going to the Seahawks first.
What? Didn't the Seahawks have pick 6?
Pick 5.
It's the Lions.
Oh, I joked. I still didn't joke. Pete Carroll could go defense. We're still sticking with it.
It's Pete Carroll. Yeah.
Definitely could be a defense pick. I think he is a better pass rusher than Myles Murphy. Honestly, it's close. I see Murphy's upside, but also bust potential. I think he'll get a solid rush and pass defender out of Lucas Van Ness. So very Seattle type pick, and their biggest weakness on defense is definitely the pass rush. So they get a guy that can do that.
Ooh, Chargers. So I'm starting. Maybe I'm starting to buy in on the Darnell Wright stock after I've had 2-3 situations now where his name has come up, but I think it's still too early for him. The 2 names that I'm looking at here are Darnell Wright and Deonte Banks. Man, the Chargers.
They do need somebody to protect Herbert.
Right. And again, they're running out of time to figure out if Herbert is as elite as they think it is. I think they're going to do everything in their power to protect him. So, yes, it might be a little bit of a reach here to some people, but I'm going to take Darnell right here.
Darnell.
Tackle, Tennessee.
Yep. Out there protecting Hendon Hooker past year.
It's a weird pick. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels wrong. I feel like this guy shouldn't be going outside of the last 4 picks of the first round, or else he's going day 2. But when you think about it from the perspective of these teams, they got to protect their quarterbacks. There's a lot of need for offensive line in this first round. So yeah, I could see him shooting up maybe above where some people may think he goes. So
that is a fair point for sure. Pick 22, Ravens pick. Who the hell knows if Lamar Jackson's playing for them? I would imagine he is, but it's like that was a different thing too. Going through this draft order, there's so many situations where it's like, oh, they could draft this guy, or they could trade for Lamar. Like so many teams are like in that boat where they don't have a QB at all. You don't know if they're going to pick one this year. They're going to make a win now move, try to get Lamar, or if they're going to wait and try to get in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes next year. Who knows? This is crazy to me. Ravens, though.
Yep.
What do you got?
I personally think the Ravens here are going to go Deonte Banks. Number one, the cornerback position is a big pressing need for them. The signing of Odell Beckham Jr. takes pressure off of them having to select a receiver round 1. Deonte Banks is a hometown kid from Maryland. He's low-key has some lockdown ability to him. I mean, he's a fantastic cornerback, long, lanky. I could definitely see him being the pick here. Especially, they need successors to Marcus Peters. There's so many things that the Ravens need. As far as on the defensive backside of the field, they have Marlon Humphreys, who's a beast, but they need someone opposite of him. And
I feel like they go defense a lot too.
It's just their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Look at Kyle Hamilton last year. They
traded up.
That's kind of their bread and butter is their defense, and I could see Deonte Banks being the selection here. But I have to say, one thing I would add is the Chargers. Darnell Wright would not be a bad pick at all. Me personally, I would select Jordan Addison there just because he's the only wideout that actually had a top 30 visit with the Chargers. So, but Darnell Wright, they definitely, like you alluded to, that offensive tackle and offensive line is a pressing need here. And they need to find
Jordan Addison, only receiver to visit the Chargers, huh? I did not know
he was the only wideout with a top 30 visit the Chargers. So it's almost broadcasted that they want him, especially with him playing at USC this last year with Caleb Williams.
That's true.
One of the receiver coaches now coaches for the Chargers.
There's a lot of connections.
There's so many connections there, but I mean, who knows? The draft is so crazy. I mean,
right. And it's I had wide receiver looking there as well. I don't know. The funny thing to me is that Mike Williams is always hurt, right? So it's like wide receiver is always a need for them with Keenan Allen old and injured all the time, and Mike they don't have healthy receivers ever. So yeah, I think some young blood is doing some good.
Yeah, last year they're literally at times running out Josh Palmer as WR1.
Yeah,
like literally doing that.
We love that in fantasy, though. We did love that in fantasy.
Yeah,
your guillotine league.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
guillotine was helping me out.
The best pick of the draft here, folks. Pick 23.
He would give himself this pick too.
I would 100% do that. Yes, I would do that. I pray the Vikings don't do anything stupid. I'm seeing these weird articles and reports. No idea if it's any truth behind it. I don't think there is. But trading all the way up to 2 or 3 to draft Will Levis, man, that will make me insanely mad. Please don't do anything like that, Vikings. Pick 23. If we're staying at pick 23 and this man's available, I don't even care. We are drafting him. We need to draft him. Dalvin Cook's obviously not the answer. We're getting rid of him, right? Bijan Robinson to the Vikings. He is by far the best player on the board right now. Not even close.
I mean,
cut the tape. Yeah. We got to start this over. Cut the tape.
Yes, he's the best player on the board right now. It's not even
honestly
close.
As far he literally could go as high as 8 to Atlanta. He's that good of a player.
There's no way he's falling outside the top 20. Why is he still on the board?
He already has. I mean, I don't know. I think that there's a couple other more pressing needs with the Vikings only having 5 picks in this draft. I don't think running back is one of their needs right now. Best player available, maybe, but you got 2 really, really solid wide receivers staring you in the face right now with your number 2 receiver just leaving.
The argument, though, for the receiver is to create space for Jefferson, right? Who's going to create more space than getting a stacked box against them than Bijan Robinson? And if they don't stack the box, this man's eating. Like, this is a true game changer here we're talking about.
Do you really want to be a rushing based offense again? Is that really what you want? Or do you want another receiver so we can hum it?
It's not about what I want. It's about what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to change the system. I really don't.
I do.
I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to be back. I don't.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't think he's going to be back, but I don't think that this offense, the way it's run, is valued. They don't value running backs, especially in the first round. So in a pass-happy offense, I don't think it's a fit. I don't see it. Bijan, great value pick at 23. Not a fit for the Vikings, in my opinion.
I would like to interject, actually. He's a fantastic playmaker. He's more than just a running back. I mean, you can literally line him out wide. You can line him in the slot. I mean, the guy he's way more than just a running back. I mean, he is a running back, of course, but, I mean, the guy is just a multifaceted playmaker. I mean, there's guys that are touting. There's already GMs touting, saying that as a player, I mean, not just position-wise, I'm talking as a player, he's a top 5 player in this draft. I mean, he possesses that talent. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, sure, I mean, personally, if my personal take, if Jordan Addison's on the board, we keep talking about this dude, but I mean, I love Addison, but I mean, I could definitely see a world where we know we're getting rid of Dalvin, where why not take the best available player on the board regardless of position? And I mean, obviously, it's going to be a position of need if Dalvin's out the door. And I mean, he's like I said, he's more than just a running back. He is a playmaker. Granted, we'll see how the shelf life on some of these players are, but I mean, it seems like the elite ones always produce years in and years out. Look at Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry.
I just think I'm totally for Jordan Addison, definitely. But I just think Bijan is taking us to a different level of an offense than Jordan Addison would.
That's
can't-
right.
Just,
I don't know.
like
I can't do it.
feel like
Cook's
Zimmer's
talented.
coaching
Cook's
him.
talented too. Like, I don't know. We're not paying Bijan 18 or 17 to 14, whatever, how many millions. Like, but I don't know. I just think that we need receivers. We need playmakers at receivers in this offense. More than one.
Agreed. That was a crazy
I mean,
one, though. We like the
That was crazy.
Pretty much
I love
had
it.
one
It's
receiver
chaos.
this year. That's all I gotta
Right.
say.
I don't think it's.
And
I don't
he
think it's
just put up
crazy at all.
1,800 yards. Is pretty much the only receiver on our team.
You got to take some stress off them, though. You got to. I mean, KOC wants to open it up, so I think you need more options. Guys,
I also
we didn't
don't-
have guys winning on routes last year outside of JJ.
I also don't want him getting absolutely wrecked like he did last year either. I'd rather take a little bit of pressure off that so the man isn't getting obliterated by safeties every other game. You know?
Yeah.
Just
Like I
saying,
said,
Fox,
that's a dream scenario, though,
Just
for
saying.
the Vikings. With
you sit back and guard JJ, Bijan Robinson, 10 yards every time.
Is he that good? Is that what
He's
we're
that
talking
good.
He
about?
is that good.
We're talking Bijan Robinson. He's that good.
Like Zeke? Zeke, you're one good? Is that what we're talking
Like,
about?
maybe better.
He's probably gonna be better than Zeke.
Probably better.
Like all
You're
purpose
one
yards,
Zeke?
yeah.
Do we remember
Yes.
this? The man hopping in holiday
He was a freak.
buckets?
He was a freak. I mean,
Okay.
there's no doubt, but I mean, year one Zeke was a freak. But Bijan Robinson is just he's a different animal. I mean, the guy he's a receiver too. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I do agree. The Vikings need a wide receiver too, a complimentary receiver to help complement Justin Jefferson. I agree, but if Bijan's on the board, I mean, that's extremely tempting, considering it is
He's
another
not gonna be on the
dimension.
board, though.
Yeah, oh, right. I don't think he is either, but I mean, he does add another dimension because now you have to worry about this freak in the backfield and now this freak that's running behind your defense. So, I mean, yes, I mean, we could also use that third rounder to find a receiver. I mean, there's been so many great receivers found in the third round on. I mean, Terry McLaurin was a third rounder. I mean, that's just one example. I mean, but there's so many great ones. Diggs was a fifth rounder. I mean, these are just extreme examples, but they are realistic examples. So, I mean, it's not that far-fetched or crazy to think that if Bijan Robinson is on the board here at 23, that the Vikings take him. I mean, I'm on board with it personally. I mean, everybody's got their opinions, but I think it'd be awesome.
No, that's true. And I know, I'm telling you what, the teams at the end of this draft are loving if there's only one wide receiver off the board right now. That's absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to take one here with Jacksonville either. I just think that they've got the wide receiver room that they like with all those boys. I can't remember his name right now. Used to be in Arizona. He's their WR1.
Christian Kirk.
And then you have Ridley coming back as well as the other lower key guys they got. So I think they're happy at that position. So again, I'm just going to go best player available. And I think it's a defensive tackle here. I think there's two of them that you could actually consider in this spot, but I personally like Calijay Kancey better than Brian Breesy. So I think we're going to go him here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, a little shorter of a player, but at D tackle, does that matter? I think his explosiveness upside is really high. So I think that's what you're looking for if you're Jacksonville.
It's funny that you bring that up, that his scouting report is eerily similar to Aaron Donald's.
It is.
It's super funny. They say he's short, he doesn't read the run very well. How does he get off blocks with those short arms? And it's going to be funny looking back and reading his scouting report in 5 years, possibly. Don't want to anoint him too soon, but yeah, no, I like the pick.
All right, pick 25, the Giants.
This will be your third little graphic coming down for y'all. See where we're at.
Last 8 picks
here. Let us know who's dropped too far. All right, Mike.
Pick 25. I feel like I know which route you're going. Who do you got?
We all know this is the most mid-ass room of wide receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Some really good options, and I know we've talked about Jordan Addison a couple times. He is my wide receiver 3. My wide receiver 1 is still on the board here. in Zay Flowers from Baltimore.
Ooh.
But I don't think I'm gonna go Jordan Addison though. I'm gonna take Jordan.
What?
I am because I think that Wan'Dale Robinson kind of fits that more Zay Flowers mold. I think that Addison kind of has more of an opportunity to be a bigger, more well-rounded, all-around wide receiver. Where I think as maybe Zay Flowers plays a little bit more into that slot, little fast guy. So I think Addison's more well-rounded. Like I said, Zay Flowers is my number one overall, but I think for a fit for the Giants, Addison's the pick here.
I like that reasoning there for sure. Cowboys 26.
Cowboys 26. Well, let's fill him right in with Zay Flowers, and since we're just talking about him now, and honestly, Addison would have been a great fill-in here for the Cowboys, but Zay Flowers, I think, he's going to be a fantastic complementary piece. He's going to be a long-term answer for the Cowboys. I mean, Michael Gallup, he's not what the contract ended up panning out to be, and I think he's going to be out of the door this next year, after this year. I mean, that's not – I'm not trying to just talk crap about Gallup here, but let's just be real here.
He's not him.
Well, and not only that, Brandon Cooks is going to be turning 30, I believe, this year. So, I mean, they're going to be needing a long-term solution alongside CeeDee Lamb here, and I think they're looking for a playmaker. I mean, if Bijan's here, I think they're hungry for Bijan personally. But Zay Flowers, that guy is so good at beating man coverage. It's unreal. He puts defensive backs on skates. Even with just terrible quarterback play at Boston College, the guy is just – his win rate success was just through the roof. Even though the production wasn't there, the talent is just phenomenal. I mean, it's tough to say because Jordan Addison, in my opinion, is a fantastic receiver. But there's even potential that Zay Flowers could be better. It was just – he was so limited on that Boston College offense. But he was their offense, essentially. So I think, especially with the need here with Dallas, I think Zay Flowers could definitely be a potential.
So my question here is, isn't Brandon Cooks, like, you're going to play Brandon Cooks and Zay Flowers at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, why not? They play they throw in Michael Gallup in all the time.
They run a lot of three receiver sets.
No, yeah, I understand. It seems like they fill the same role to me as wide receiver. So I just was curious.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that point. But.
Right, and I agree, but he's a long-term solution, and especially with him being on the board here, the talent.
Yeah, Cooks has got to only have this year, maybe one more year left on his contract as well.
True.
I would imagine.
Yeah. They're a need for them. I wouldn't say it's a pressing need, but they're hungry for a receiver, running back, offensive explosion, something to help take pressure off Dak.
For sure. Do we think there's any chance the boys, let's just say, somehow Bijan Robinson's on the board at pick 26? Do they go running back and get another running back, or are they're set on Tony Pollard getting 20 carries a game? I don't think they're set on that.
Dallas is always in play for a player like Bijan Robinson, man. Like, he's from Texas, is the Texas vibe. He's the same, like we said, it's kind of Zeke vibes. Like, if he's there, it's always in play. It's Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah. Jerry knows how to pick those guys out. He knows the buzz guy. He hears the buzz on him, and he's like, we're going to grab him.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that out there.
I personally don't think they go with Jahmyr Gibbs, just because, I mean, essentially, Tony Pollard already plays the Jahmyr Gibbs role. It's essentially the home run hitter running back. There's always in between the tackles, 50-50 grinders, and then you have your home run hitters, your extremely athletic running backs, the ones that are going to be your playmakers. Well, Tony Pollard's already that playmaker, and I think Bijan would just be that all-around, well-rounded player that it would just be a 1-2 punch with him and Pollard, but especially with Pollard just being on a 1-year contract, coming off an injury, an ACL injury, none of that.
All right, let's jump to 27. The Bills. I'm so stuck here. I have absolutely no idea which route I should go. I think I'm going to take, since Spinny went Clancy or whatever, I'm going to take, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Someone help me. Brian Breesy. I'm taking. The Bills could use some more help on their D line, and they answer that here with Brian Busey.
Wow.
Doesn't hurt. I mean, their defense is shuffles around kind of a little bit. Over the last couple of years, they always needed a little bit more pass rush. They have the edges figured out. But still got to be able to stop the run.
Surprised you didn't go running back here. Surprised
I
Jameer.
thought about that. I was gonna maybe throw you guys a little curveball and take Jahmyr Gibbs here, but I went the other route.
All right.
So Spinny, the Bengals. This may be a landing spot for Jahmyr or somebody. What do you got?
Makes my choice hard. This guy is my number one wide receiver left, and I think the Bengals have a chance to trade T. Higgins. I don't think you can pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I don't think it's a route you can go and be good in the NFL. So I think we're going to get a trade of T. Higgins at some point before the trade deadline of next year. So that's why I'm going to go with Jalen Hyatt here for the Bengals. I think Jalen Hyatt is better than Quentin Johnson. And so I think he's my best wide receiver on the board. And I just don't think paying two wide receivers top 5, top 10 money in the NFL is a sustainable way to build a good roster over time, especially a championship one like the Bengals want to be for a while. So I think they might have to cut their losses on one of those guys and take a receiver.
They've been linked to running backs too, because there's a lot of reports that they're getting rid of Mixon for next season.
Yep. Personally, I don't think they get rid of T. Higgins. I think they pay him. You don't let talent like that out the door, regardless of price tag. You make it work one way or another. I mean, whether it's signing bonuses.
Both of them, man. That's just.
I know, and it's going to be tough, and it's going to be. I mean, with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, it's going to be insane what they do. But sure. I mean, there's definitely a chance where I think. I personally just don't think they trade T. Higgins. I mean, maybe after this year, he signs somewhere else, but they love T. Higgins. They've already come out and said, go get your own wideout. I mean.
Yeah, I understand. I just don't see how if you're them, you just let him go for free. That's just crazy management to me.
Well, and I understand that. I mean, it's also the same thing with Kirk Cousins this year. You know, why wouldn't you trade Kirk Cousins? Because, I mean, he keeps us in contention.
But I think you could get a first-round pick for T. Higgins. I don't think you could get a first-round pick for Cousins. That's my hot take.
I mean, maybe.
Different positions. It's too hard to compare.
Well, right, but I'm just trying to give an analogy here. I mean, ultimately,
I get both reasonings. I agree with Brady. T. Higgins should, in theory, stay on the Bengals because he's that talented. But I am actually with Spinny. There's just no way they can afford to pay all these dudes because they're going to have to give Jamar Chase the bag for him to stay. Like the ridiculous $30+ million bag.
Oh, yeah.
Just like we're going to give Justin Jefferson. So.
And that Justin Jefferson contract's coming first too, so you know the Chase's number is higher.
That's true. That's a good point. I did not consider.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the Saints though.
This is an ugly one. This is going to be an ugly pick, guys. I'm going to be upfront.
Traded twice this pick.
Right. And so I'm looking at two things. They're both on the defensive side of the ball here. But with Jahmyr Gibbs here, it begs the question, how serious is this Kamara situation? Because if it is serious, I don't think it's quite as serious as even the Mixon deal, where I think Cincy's probably a better candidate to take them. But I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball, but that's some food for thought for this pick. I'm going to go edge. I think that with Davenport leaving, I think that leaves a little bit of a hole. You got an aging Cam Jordan here. So some Big 12 edges still on the board right here. I'm going to go with the harder name to pronounce, Felix Anadike Uzama.
Yeah, Felix. I'm just going to write down Felix. I'm not even going to attempt to spell that.
So I actually got to see him up close in person and at the Big 12 championship game this year. And this dude is a specimen. And He can just wreck games. He did it a lot. You don't see defense being played very much in the Big 12, but K-State had a pretty solid one this year. He's a fringe first-round pick. You could have went with who was the other edge we had on the board? Oh, Will McDonald, another fringe first-round guy. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Felix here.
I mean, according to this article I'm reading, in last 2 seasons, he has 21 sacks. So yeah, he can get to the quarterback. The Eagles, their second pick, the first round. Which route are you going here, Brady?
Yeah, we're gonna go Will McDonald. No, actually, I'm not even gonna. I almost said that.
Pumping the brakes.
We're pumping the brakes here. God dang. Yeah, this is tough. The guy that I considered that was on the board is gone. Yeah, we'll just go Will McDonald here then. Edge rusher out of Iowa State. The guy's a freak athlete. I believe he's like 6'5", 260 pounds, something like that. Crazy athlete. I mean, honestly, this draft class is just fulfilled with absolute talent of edge rushers. Why not fulfill it? I mean, personally, I had Tyree Wilson go in there. So that's why I'm like, I had to wait, but because I had a different guy going there. So there's a differentiator right there. But regardless, he's the best player on the board. I mean, they would definitely go a different route, but like, let's say hypothetically that they draft I mean, there's even been talks that the Eagles have been linked to both Bijan Robinson and Jackson Smith and Jigba here. So there's so many potentials that they could go here, but we'll just go with Will McDonald here. Keep it simple.
That means I have to close it out with the Chiefs after the 2 players I was going to pick for them were taken. Felix and Will McDonald were 2 options. I feel like they kind of need an edge rusher. I don't know. I hope they don't pick Quentin Johnson here. I'm with like Spinny. Mike, are you on that train too? That you're not very high on Quentin Johnson, or because I feel like I know Brady isn't. I know Spinny isn't.
I think it's a fit thing. So like if you have he's going to be a red zone target in the NFL.
That's true.
But like if you need a balanced wide receiver, you're probably not looking QJ's way. So I think Kansas City's kind of a fit for him with an aging Travis Kelce though.
And like, what a better situation than play. Like if he's going to be good anywhere, that's where it is, right? Like like if he's going to be good, he's going to be good there.
There's some corners on the board here too.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a very enticing corner here that I think is definitely going to go in the first round. I'm going to go that route just because I'm not as high on Quentin Johnson. I like your guys' points on the fit. That does make sense. He would definitely fit in the KC offense. I'm going Emmanuel Forbes with this pick. I really am. I think he's a lock to be in the first round. I'm being honest. He is a freak. What is he, 6'2"? Like he's got some length and speed with him there as well. Plus the game tape is there. I think he's a day one starter and a day one effective player.
Yeah, I like it. Just like a better Cam Dancer, some people are saying. Another Mississippi State product.
Yeah. Now y'all see our last 8 picks of the draft. We did it, y'all. We did it. There's our mock draft. It was kind of fun doing it this way. It was interesting. We had to kind of take a look at what teams needed and kind of what we thought they would do, and how the board fell is how we had to make our picks. So I'm the least confident in Tyree Wilson falling to 10. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Bijan Robinson falls outside the top 20, if I'm being honest. Those were the 2 that really stood out to me. I don't know about you guys, but
the wide receivers, I think the wide receivers was another one. But like, if you think about it from the team perspective on need, like there was that run on edges in the late teens, which kind of pushed the wide receivers back. And a lot of those teams, you could flip flop edge or wide receiver for a lot of those teams in the late teens.
Yeah. Kincaid, that one shook me too. That you went with Kincaid, or however you say it, over Mayer.
Yeah, I've been
Just 'cause
hearing him
Mayer's your
climbing up
boy.
boards. Yeah, no, I've
No, he
been
is.
big on Mayer, and I've been seeing like him as low as Cincinnati at 28, and it's like
I
to
don't
me,
buy
I don't know
that.
where that's coming from. That would be an ultimate Irv Smith cuck. If he went to Cincinnati, that would be hilarious.
That would be so funny.
I mean, to me, Kincaid is probably the highest upside tight end as far as like receiving ability goes, and Michael Mayer is your like best well-rounded tight end. I mean, the guy can absolutely catch and receive, great route runner, but he's just Kincaid's probably got the highest ceiling as far as receiving ability goes.
That's fair. I just think Michael Mayer is an instant 3-down starter in that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, he'll be a 3-down starter for sure, and Kincaid will probably start on third downs, maybe have some
work his way up.
You're right. Tight ends always take at least a year of production before they finally flourish in their system. So
right. No, I think the also the other thing is I don't want to see Mayer in a Packers uniform. If I'm being completely honest.
Fair.
Yeah, Kincaid, I see him being pretty similar to Mike Gesicki. He might be a little bit better of a blogger even too. So I don't know if that's a great comp, but I can see it.
He's a down the field threat, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be something where they just start Kincaid out in the slot and then just see where it goes, like on third downs. That's essentially what they did with Mike Gesicki. They just used him on third downs as a slot receiver. That's basically what it was.
Spinny, you gonna speak, or you're just gonna sit there?
No, you guys were covering it. I was just letting y'all be. I was loving every second of listening to that. So just taking it all in over here. But thank you all for both being on for our second annual mock draft, I guess. I think the way we did it this year was much better. Shout out to Mike there for that idea. We love you for that. Thank you all for being on. If you got any closing comments, shout them out. Otherwise, we're going to talk about NBA playoffs a bit.
I just have one more comment. How many trades do you think there's actually going to be in the first round tomorrow night?
I'm saying 4. I'm going to say 4 trades.
4?
And I think 2 of them come inside the top 10.
I'm saying I'm saying 6.
I'm going 5.
I was going to say 6, Spinny. I think there's going to be boo-hoo trades this year.
5, and I agree with Mike, though, at least 2 in the top 10, for sure.
Someone's trading up for one of these quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. It's happening. Right. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we're going to have to get you on soon after we see what the hell happens with this NFL draft.
For sure.
Tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out. The epic rollout by Brady.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what? For this NBA, I just want to start it off with our only contention because they are up 17 points right now in Game 5 and about to close out this series. Your New York Knicks are about to win a 4-1 gentleman sweep the Cavs. Spinny, what do you think about that?
I did not see this coming at all.
No,
Donovan Mitchell. Who? What? D. Mitch? Man, RJ Barrett's playing better than D. Mitch as the series has been going on. It's crazy. That's not to mention, I feel bad. I can't believe I didn't have faith in this guy. My man Jalen Brunson has been absolutely hooping. So, big credit to him. Barrett right now, 6 for 7, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 6 for 7. Nice game so far for RJ Barrett.
They have a lot of double digits right now.
Mm-hmm.
5 dudes in double digits right now.
The big 3 plus Quickly and Toppin. Maybe Obi Toppin's actually got something in him. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
the Knicks have surprised the crap out of me. I am unbelievably surprised with them. Question for you: Of any of the 3-1 team, of any of the teams down 3-1 or that were down 3-1, you can include the Hawks in this as well. Do you think any of them has a real chance to come back?
I mean, I guess the easy answer is the Bucks, right? Like,
yeah. Do you believe that though?
I don't. I think the Heat are going to win the series.
You really don't.
I think maybe they can do like which team just made it? Oh, the Hawks, Celtics, duh. Maybe pull one of those and get another win and make it 3-2. We're talking 3 wins in a row. Yeah, they've won an NBA championship. Yeah, they're good, but I'm still not convinced Giannis is fully healthy. I'm still not convinced even Middleton is fully healthy, even though he has been playing well. But I don't know. I can't see. We're talking something that's only been done 13 times ever in the NBA.
No, yeah, I agree. I think Game 6 is going to be the one because I think the Bucks are going to win Game 5. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't win Game 5. But Game 6 in Miami, is Jimmy going to have one of those Jimmy games? It's definitely possible.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Is just Jimmy right now is just too good. He's going to close this series out at some point. I do like that point though. If they win Game 5, which I definitely think they will, and they somehow win Game 6 in Miami, then Milwaukee will win. They will win Game 7 at home.
Game 6 is the deciding factor. The Grizzlies, does LeBron get reverse 3-1s?
No, it doesn't. They are up. They are up 9 as we're recording right now at halftime on the Lakers. The Grizzlies are up 61-52 right now. No, I just don't see it. Ja, he's obviously hurt right now too, playing through probably honestly a broken hand. The way he's been acting, and he's still running in there with reckless abandon. That's the one thing I don't get. Bro, you don't have to freaking jump from 1,000 feet away every time you drive in the lane. Stop being you're asking to get hurt.
Dude, Bron taking charges Monday night. That was nutty. Also,
awesome.
Classic, them giving the Lakers 3 days. Oh, this is only 2 days off. Never mind. I lied. I was about to lie. But yeah, Bron taking charges in that game. That was absolutely hilarious to see. Do the Kings have any chance still? Because the Fox injury, obviously, on his shooting hand. He's going to play, but
I was going to say, tonight's going to be the whole tell, right? How much does this broken finger, index finger, I believe, affects him? So, I don't know. They play tonight at 9 p.m. It's 2-2 series, and as we know, the winner of Game 5 wins the series. I believe it's above 90%. It might not be quite that high, but it's ridiculously high either way. So the winner of this game, my simple prediction here is the winner of tonight's game will win, even if that's the Kings. The Kings somehow win this game with Fox hurt, they're going to win the series, whether it be losing Game 6, winning Game 7 at home. I don't know. But you obviously know the Warriors. They win tonight. They're going to win Game 6 at home for sure.
You think so?
I think so, dude. They're too good at home. Yeah. Your whole knock on them this whole time has been the road, right? So, I could see them losing that on the road, but at home, I don't know. They're different at home. That energy, and I can't even call it Oracle anymore. It sucks, but I'm still going to call it Oracle. The energy in Oracle is lit.
Yeah, it is. It is different at home. This will be the game. If the Warriors can win a game on the road, this is going to be the one, because if they lose and then win Game 6, Fox is going to be ready to go by Game 7. So this is going to be the one that's the important one for them. I think they got it now. You know how close these games were and how much Fox has dominated the Warriors, not just in this series but this season. So a little bit off from the guy who's been your most important factor against this team is going to be tough and all the games have been close essentially. So I'm losing faith in the Kings without Fox. He's just been too good.
Yeah. And plus, especially when Sabonis isn't doing nothing either. He's been getting clamped by Draymond all series. So your second best player hasn't been playing well. I don't really trust him to pick up that slack with Fox injured. So I'm with you there. Let's kind of preview some of the series we already know, or in theory, I guess we don't technically know, but we both said Warriors-Lakers. Talk about something fun to watch. We're gonna get Curry v. LeBron again, but this time in the second round. Yeah, oh man, this is the NBA. Adam Silver is absolutely loving how this is playing out right now.
Oh yeah.
He's going to make a lot of money off of that series.
Number one, how lucky can the Warriors get? for all 4 championships, they've had a major injury to the best player on the team that's been either up in the series against them or been playing the best against them at the time. Obviously, I understand they also got chipped out of one with the Raptors one that they would have won without injuries, but that's still major above average or major advantage on your end. So shout out to injuries for the Warriors, but I think the Lakers' interior game is going to be too much. Like, especially Kevon Looney's the key. If Kevon Looney can play half decent defense on Anthony Davis, then they'll have a chance. Otherwise, the Lakers drive too much. They finish at the rim too much, and the Warriors rim.
What about Draymond?
Come on, that's not Draymond's role. Draymond's not a rim protector. Draymond's a good on ball defender. What?
But if he's being physical and aggressive with him against AD, he doesn't necessarily even need to be a rim protector. He's going to push AD out of his spot.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on what AD you get. It's been about 50-50 in this series. But
offensively, yeah.
Yeah, offensively. I also think the defensive end, AD is on a different level. That's going to affect a lot of shots for the Warriors. Even though, again, they don't really shoot at the rim that much, but the rarity that they do is not going to be good for them. The on-ball defense is obviously a factor, like Curry against whoever, like Reeves, or I guess you got who do you got? I mean, do you have a good defender like Beasley, Reeves, and D'Lo?
Perimeter defender is probably, honestly, the best one's probably Schroeder. It's probably Bagpumler.
So, are you putting Vandy on Curry? I think there's a shot that happens.
I definitely think there's a shot that happens. Vandy's been guarding. Vandy guarded Ja a lot.
Yeah, I know. Series. So then it's AD and Looney and Braun and on either Draymond or Wiggins.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they throw Braun on Draymond so that he doesn't have to exert as much energy on the defensive end.
Yeah, when Draymond's in, when Wiggins is in.
Right.
Obviously. And they're going to run lineups with Draymond, Wiggins, Clay, Poole, Steph. That's going to be the challenge for.
They're going to go small for sure to counter the Lakers' big lineup.
AD is going to have to take advantage in those situations.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think even goes beyond AD. They're role players. You're Vandy. You're Rui Hachimura. Those guys have been great on the glass so far this playoffs, and they should be able to expose the Warriors, especially if one of Kevon Looney or Draymond or both of them are in foul trouble.
True. NFL Network article just released. Interest is real for Eagles to pick Bijan Robinson at 10.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Other teams in range also interested. Very unlikely he drops past the top 10.
I agree. I totally agree. By the way, we didn't even say that. We're still going to post our own mock drafts on social media as well. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow, or by the time you're listening to this, it will be the day of the draft. That was my spot too. I'm not going to lie to you. I had that circle of pick 10 Eagles. I mean, we obviously know how much they run the freaking football. Like,
that would be insane too.
That would be insane. I'd be so mad. I would be so mad.
Because then you got Brown and Devontae and Bijan and Jalen Hurts and a average offensive line, like a top.
How the hell are you stopping that RPO?
Yeah,
you're not stopping it.
And then you got to guard Brown and Smith. At least one of them is completely solo one-on-one. At least 100%. One. No shade from the safeties, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then you have to guard the RPO on top of that with Hurts and Robinson with the pass option.
You can't. It's not defendable.
And that defense.
And they have a good defense, yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's jump to this other West series though that we actually know about. That's Nuggets Suns.
Yep.
What do you got in this one?
Shout out Anthony Edwards real quick for playing very, very good in that throughout the World Series. First 2 games a little slow, but then really kicked it up. 30-point games, 421. Obviously has the second most ever behind LeBron. So that's awesome. Now, on to the next.
One quick thing before you talk about the Nuggets or Suns, whoever you're talking about. Anthony Edwards. I don't think you saw this. And it's true. I went and looked on Instagram to see if this was an accurate tweet. Some Edwards Wave is the page. I'm assuming it's just an Anthony Edwards fan page on Instagram.
Yep.
Tweeted about Anthony Edwards, season over, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Someone in the comments, worst trade in history of sports. That comment received 17 likes, including by Anthony Edwards. He liked that comment.
What was the trade? I'm sorry.
Worst trade in history of sports, referring to the Rudy trade.
Oh.
And he liked that comment. Another one, this comment has 15 likes. One of them is Anthony Edwards. This comment was, I will never forgive Minnesota for that dumbass trade. Oh, no, Spinny. I just had to say that because, one, it's just hilarious that he's liking that. But, two, it's not good. That means something is happening.
Horrible.
Yeah, some shit's happening this summer, dude. Anyways, let's hear your Nuggets Suns take. I might have thrown you off too much with that one, but
I hate you. Anyways, Nuggets Suns. This is kind of an interesting one because I think the Suns starting five is better, but like, are they going to be able to sustain Booker and KD playing the most minutes, number one and number two in the playoffs so far? Over 44 minutes a game for both of them. Plus Chris Paul being in the top 10, playing almost 40 minutes a game. Like, are they going to be able to sustain that against Denver's? Denver does have some bench depth and some ability to score off of that. So I just worry about the Suns' ability to sustain their level when the bench comes on, or sustain the level of minutes that the stars are playing at without getting injured. I just worry about the Suns' ability to go forward. That being said, if they can make that happen, then I think there's a chance they beat Denver. But I think this is a 6 or 7 game series. Denver's way deeper than Phoenix. Phoenix, I think, needs 2 more guys. They need 2 more guys that can score, that can come in, that can be like real, at least average or above average NBA players. I just don't think they have that beyond Campaign and the starting 5.
I mean, we're talking Devin Booker scoring 40 plus points for them to barely beat the no Kawhi or PG Clippers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's still people on social media. I was just reading random replies to tweets about, just your general, who will win this series tweet or whatever. So many people still saying Suns in 5 or like whatever. I'm like, you guys clearly didn't watch that series. Like,
no.
Yes, they have the best 2 like scorers on the court in KD and Book. But exactly like you said, they have no depth. They have none. What happens if Ayton, who I already think is going to get absolutely cooked by Jokic, what happens when Ayton gets in foul trouble? Jock Landale's going to guard Jokic? I bet. I freaking bet.
Exactly.
And here I am. I had them in the freaking – damn, I think I had the Suns in the finals, so I'm about to take another L here. But I'm already looking to take an L with my NBA champion pick, freaking Milwaukee Bucks looking ass. But
yeah, how are you feeling about that right now, buddy?
I'm loving it. I love my life, dude. This is amazing. Yes, I hate the Bucks, dude. I'll sit here on fat L's, big dubs next time we do it, and take my fat L.
You'll sit there and take it?
I will take it because it's a brutal L. Your NBA champion pick loses in the first round. Yeah, that's a freaking huge L. Yeah. But I'm going to love my life, dude. I hate the Bucks.
Anti-Wisconsin or what?
Anti-Wisconsin, anti-Giannis, whatever it is.
Anti-Giannis? Why?
Duh. I've always been anti-Giannis.
Why?
Just that. Just don't like him.
That's a bad take. Like,
it's not a bad take.
I feel like there's no reason to dislike Giannis.
Oh! Sorry, Charlie Horse. Live on camera.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
No, okay, so like I don't know, he just seems so fake to me. Like,
all right, I think he's real. I mean, I don't love his game. Like, he's just kind of not a boring player to watch, but just like, he's super athletic, but he doesn't really have a bag. I mean, his bag is small, and it's not necessarily the most fun to watch on offense. His defense is fun to watch, but his offense isn't really fun to watch. So that's my knock on Giannis, but that's just personal, obviously.
Yeah. I'm obviously with you on the style of play aspect there. Let's jump to the last East. Wait, so the Heat are going to be playing the Knicks.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely loving your life if you're a Knicks fan, right? You avoid Giannis, but then at the same time, are you really if the Heat are looking like this?
Yeah, I mean, playoff Jimmy in Madison Square Garden. That just seems like too much for the Knicks. I don't know, but we'll see. Brunson, obviously, are they going to be able to guard Jalen Brunson? Do they have guards left on their team who can like play basketball? Like, is Duncan Robinson?
What? You don't think 36-year-old Kyle Lowry can guard Jalen Brunson? What do you mean? That's your other Villanova boy. Come on.
Yeah, him or Duncan Robinson guarding Jalen Brunson. Wow, that's real fun. Gabe Vincent, maybe, I guess.
Gabe Vincent?
Maybe.
That doesn't look good, though, either.
Yeah.
Call it now.
That being said, if that's the series, I'm taking the Heat.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the Heat, too.
He doesn't have faith in his boy Jalen. He doesn't have faith in his fantasy boy Jalen anymore.
Jimmy Butler's just too good, dude. He is. I'm sorry.
Can we talk about, too, Jimmy saying that playoff Jimmy isn't a thing? Can we talk about that?
Yeah. What is he getting at? What is he talking about?
Like, this guy has has the exact same number, 35-plus point games. In the regular season, he has 11 in his career. And in the playoffs, he has 11. He's played over 300 regular season games and 40 playoff games and has the exact same number of 35-plus point games. Can we stop? He's never scored 40-plus in the regular season. He's done it 7 times in the playoffs.
It makes zero sense.
Unbelievable.
56 points, Spinny.
The 4th most in the playoff game ever.
Literally, ever.
MJ, D. Mitch, and Elgin Baylor, only guys ever to score more than him in the playoffs.
Gosh.
Crazy.
Before we jump to the last East series.
Are we assuming Celtics Sixers or Celtics going to close it out?
Yeah, I was going to say. We're assuming Celtics Sixers for this little talk here. Before that, I just want to interrupt with this ESPN notification here I got. Reports coming out the Packers may be looking to trade back from the pick 13 that they just acquired from New York Jets to draft one of these tight ends, which we just had Mike Brown have him take Dalton Kincaid at 13. So we'll see what happens, but reports say a tight end there. All right, Spinny. Well, I mean, it's your team, dog. What do you like? I don't know. I'm getting a little sus about these Celtics. They're still obviously on paper the best team remaining.
Joel Mazzulla's coaching down the stretch was not the best I've ever seen.
No, it was not.
Talk to me about it. What did you think?
It was bad, man. It's not calling timeouts when I think he should. I don't get this Smart White situation.
Play Derek White.
Thank you.
Play Derek White. Why is Marcus Smart playing at crunch time? White, Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, and Horford or Williams, whoever's playing better.
Yes.
Holy cow.
White's giving you more on the offensive end and just as much, if not better, on the defensive end even.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Smart. I love having those 3 guards because you pretty much have 2 of the 3 of them on the court at all times, which is awesome. But down the stretch, the last 6 minutes, it needs to be that 5 lineup. 4 of those 5, and then if Williams is blocking on shots all over, like against Embiid, it's probably going to have to be Rob Will. But otherwise, that's the thing, though. Against the Sixers, you might not be playing White or Smart. You might be going Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Williams. Because I don't think Tobias Harris is exploiting that Horford defensive matchup. So I'll keep them both out there. And then you have either you do that or you have Rob Will on Tobias Harris, and then you have him helping on Embiid off the ball more, and then have Horford as the guy manned up on Embiid. But there's a lot of options against the Sixers, I think, that can be effective for Boston. But I agree, the closing of the game situation, you got to figure that shit out. already.
Come on, man. It's just like he's still holding on to these past ways. Like, oh, this is what Ime did last year. They got to the finals, so I have to do it too. Like, no, dog. Come on. You got to do what's best for you right now, and that is definitely playing Derek White over Marcus Smart. No questions about it.
Agreed.
No questions about it. Can your C's get it done? You feeling a little sus after this back-to-back L's or whatever?
I mean, a little bit. The lack of concentration, the 13-point lead with 6 minutes. Like, it's not great, but they did it last year too. Like, at this point, it is a little bit them, like, absolutely ball out and go crazy and then have a little lapse in whatever. And you got to admit, when anytime the crowd chants F Trae Young, I get scared. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this
you should
man,
get scared.
but the fans telling him to F off just turns him into Steph Curry. Steph Curry mode. Then.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Credit to Trae Young. I actually kind of like him. I would trade. Please, can we trade Cat for him? I'm just gonna speak that into existence. But yeah,
that's the guy to target, huh?
Yes, I'd give up more even. I'd give him Cat and Rudy.
I feel like you almost have to give him a little more, but
give him Cat and Rudy for Trae.
Come on,
and then we take John Collins. We take John Collins off their hands, who they've been trying to get rid of for a million years.
They don't want Rudy and
Cat for John Collins and Trae.
Stop it.
And then we add in a couple whatever.
We're running DeJounte, Cat, and Rudy. Come on, dude.
They are. That's perfect. Rudy and Cat would play great together. A shooting big and a down low big. Awesome. It's great. It's wonderful, Atlanta.
It's totally going to work.
It's totally going to work. It'd be really awesome.
Oh, man. So all right, you got to tell me, though. Does this, whatever's happening here with the Hawks series, does that impact your thinking for this Sixers? Because our Sixers way better. They got probably the most dominant player in the league right now, Joel Embiid. Obviously, if someone's going to beat the Celtics, I feel like it's with an interior monster like Embiid, right? So with all these perimeter defenders they have. I mean, they literally have Smart, Brogdon, White, and Jaylen Brown. I mean, you're not scoring really on the perimeter. Are you still fully confident on? Because to me, I am. I think the Celtics will for sure beat the Sixers.
I do too. You got to do it for me once before I believe in you. And the Celtics have obliterated the Sixers for my entire adult life in the playoffs. Like, I'm not scared of them. I'm just not. And Doc, like, since the finals, his playoff record, like, a lot of 3-1 lead losses, a lot of sketchiness going on. As much as I hate to admit it, I love the guy, but a lot of sketchiness. I don't
only coach with multiple 3-1 blown leads.
I think him and Missoula are probably pretty similar on coaching skill, so they at least don't get an advantage in that. And I like the Horford. People don't believe me when I say this, but Horford has done a good job guarding Embiid. A billion times that I've watched it.
It's just that savvy vet.
And then you play Rob off ball on the help, on the blocks, I don't know. I just like it. And Harden and Maxey ain't doing nothing against Boston. Like, especially
like I said, those four dudes out there.
James Harden ain't doing nothing against Boston. I can tell you what right now.
He's literally. Can you imagine seeing Marcus Smart, and then all of a sudden you're seeing Derek White, and then all of a sudden you're seeing Malcolm Brogdon, and then also you might be seeing Jaylen Brown? It's like,
yeah,
how the hell am I scoring?
Literally, a bunch of lanky, long, strong dudes.
Yeah,
awesome. Super
sweet.
Fun.
God,
especially with playoff James Harden. So
yeah,
we like it. The Lakers we're confident in still too. Honestly, I know people be hating on them, but that's fine. But we're still confident in them here in this area of the world. So,
no, I'm with you.
We're confident in our picks. Well, this has been a long one. So, you got anything else for us, boss, or should we let the Hardys and Hardos get their butts out of here?
I'm trying to think if we have any announcements. I don't think we do. Just be on the lookout for tomorrow. We'll drop our mock draft before the actual draft starts, and just enjoy the craziness of these next couple of days. That's all I got to say. We all know how crazy the NFL draft is. It always is crazier than we imagine it's going to be. somehow. Last year, I'm pretty sure was the record for most trades in the first round. Could be wrong by saying that, but it was for sure at least 6, 7, 8 trades last year.
Agreed.
So yeah, just buckle up. That's all I gotta say.
And watch the NBA playoffs like we're about to.
Absolutely.
We love you, Hardies and Nardos.
All right, y'all.
Hug your friends and family. Have a good night.